Thanks for viewing and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, subscribe so you don't miss the latest uploads. Now let's get started. To block Xian's vision, quickly followed by a fatal sword thrust. Having defeated the opposition, Sun Jun and his team successfully completed their special task, but Hyun noticed Sun Jun's hands trembling and inquired about his well-being. He brushed it off as nothing, but Hyun had a nagging suspicion that he was struggling with the aftermath of killing other players or humans. Sun Jun dispatched the Goblin King with ease, completing the 4th floor trials. Their reward was a significant stat increase and the acquisition of an instant acceleration skill. A virtual screen guided them to the lobby and opened individual portals. Opting to lead the way, Sung Hoon went ahead, leaving Hyan and Sun Jun behind. With a wish for RMC safe return, Hyan expressed her concern and RMC reassured her, saying he'd done what was necessary. Hyan sent him a friend request, thanking him for his contribution to their success, and inviting him to meet her at the Silver Guild. Sun Jun was faced with a difficult decision to absorb dead players' souls or not. When he returned to Earth alone, he had discovered this ability earlier but had held back due to the boundary he'd be crossing. He desired strength but not at the expense of killing others. However, he would use this power if circumstances ever demanded it. Sun Jun entered the 5th level lobby, where a digital interface appeared. Sun Jun typed in Hunter and immediately pulled up the leaderboard, searching for his standing. He found himself ranked at 16th. The system informed him that those ranked within the top 50 were deemed pioneers eligible for special benefits on the 8th floor, a privilege called a halo awaited Sun Jun if he managed to maintain his pioneer status until then. Upon absorbing the information, RMC took in the black fog of Xian Jin, the human he defeated in the previous quest, and the Goblin King. The sensation was transcendent, pushing him beyond human limitations. He then purchased a return stone capable of transporting him back to his original location on Earth for 3 days, curious whether his equipment could accompany him back to Earth. Sun Jun activated the return stone, and he was drawn back to his terrestrial home. As he awoke in his bedroom, he took a moment to familiarize himself with his surroundings, assuring that he was truly back on Earth, despite the tiredness that weighed him down and the awful body odor stench that clung to him. He stood up and stepped on some of his tower gear, and an urgent thought struck him. With more members returning to Earth, equipment like his would flood the market, driving down prices. He needed to sell his gear quickly, but the catch was that only those with hunter qualifications could sell such items. This prompted Sun Jun to call his former coach. The coach recognized Sun Jun's voice over the phone and preemptively suggested that if he wanted a refund, he could do it online. However, RMC asked for his coach's assistance in retaking the hunting test. Despite Sun Jun's earlier failed attempt and seeming lack of talent, the coach agreed. Once Sun Jun offered to pay, the agreement was struck and a new test was scheduled after he swiftly showered and dressed. Sun Jun admired his new physique in the mirror, attributing it to his recent improvement. Shaking off the distraction of being unable to hail a taxi, he resorted to exploiting his newfound skills, sprinting and leaping from building to building until he arrived at the Hunter Association. Inside this building, he was greeted by his old coach, Mr. Wang. Suddenly, Inspector Kim intervened, informing them that he would be grading Sun Jun's hunter test. Due to Mr. Wang's presence as an observer, Sun Jun was spared the usual interview process and they were directed to start the test without further delay. RMC nervously awaited the start of his test, but Mr. Wang has secretly conspired with the inspector, who ensures Sun Jun's swift failure by giving the MC a cracked sword to use for this test. With such a reason, he would be sure to fail. It was the challenger who gave Sun Jun the option of adjusting the difficulty level of his test from 1 to 10. As Sun Jun was about to make his option, memories of prior tests flooding back to him, where he had always chosen level 1 but had lost terribly against a goblin owing to his vulnerability. Wang suggested that he choose level 1. Wang was caught off guard when Sun Jun chose level 10 with a brazen defiance. Mr. Wang's stare met Sun Jun's, prompting him to inwardly classify Sun Jun as a madman. Sun Jun's goal was to vanquish the Phoenix, but the Phoenix's mighty roar reduced his movement speed by a quarter, and Wang had already tampered with his weapon, scheming his horrific defeat. Wang desired Sun Jun's demise because of his own insecurities. When Wang initially became a hunter, he was convinced of his supremacy. However, as the skill gap between him and his peers widened, he found himself falling behind. Wang became disillusioned, realizing that innate talent was the true measure of a hunter. He stopped striving, believing humans tend to abandon their pursuits when faced with insurmountable obstacles. He wished for Sun Jun to meet a similar fate. Suddenly, the Phoenix launched an attack on Sun Jun. His weapon, a sword sabotaged by Wang, snapped into two. However, it shouldn't have broken so readily. As he looked at Mr. Wang, the facts of the sabotage became clear to him. Sun Jun unleashed another fiery assault and deftly leapt towards the ceiling. The Phoenix attempted a second attack, but Sun Jun outmaneuvered it and plunged towards the beast and swiftly stabbed it in the eye, then landed gracefully, picked up a broken tile, and hurled it towards the Phoenix's head. His throw was so forceful it cleaved the Phoenix's head in two as flew off and struck the railing near the instructor. With this, the test declared complete and Sun Jun was declared victorious. After the test, Sun Jun obtained an identity card as an official C-rank hunter. The identity card was handed over by an employee of the association's office. While receiving the card, Sun Jun asked would he be able to legally enter the dungeons and sell items with the smiling kind employee said that of course. Meanwhile, Room Instructor Twang is angry at the office inspector. He was irritated that Sun Jun passed the test. The director refused to take the blame because he had done his best to sabotage Sun Jun's exam. While they were busy arguing, RMC strolled in, boldly declaring that he had obtained his own hunting license without hesitation. Sun Jun entered and stood right in front of Chairman Huang to make small talk. Instructor H. Wayne congratulated Sun Jun on officially becoming a hunter, but Sun Jun did not accept the congratulations. Instead, he brought up Instructor Huang's rank, who only got his C rank. According to Sun Jun, the instructor Twang deserved to be called a failure, not him. Hearing the provocation from Sun Jun, the instructor immediately became furious. He attacks RMC but was dodged by Sun Jun and was hit in the stomach. Next, RMC slapped the instructor. Sweet revenge. As Sun Jun plans to return home, he is stopped and offered a potion by the office inspector. He is promised a hefty income if he agreed to join. RMC, instead of being intrigued, he stated that he was aware of the inspector's manipulation of the exam difficulty. Sun Jun scowled at the director, who appeared scared. Sun Jun stated that he would not bring up the issue, but that he would not deal with someone as untrustworthy as Inspector Kim. Sun Jun walked away, leaving the inspector befuddled and alone in his thoughts. Sun Jun checked the news on his laptop 2 days later and saw that people were already being kidnapped, and rumors spread about those kidnapped sent into the tower. Sun Jun looked up from his laptop and looked at his phone to see the sale of his goods. RMC has used his 3-day pass productively. Ultimately, the system emerged and said that Sun Jun would return to the Tower of Trials in a minute when he was ultimately drawn back into the tower dimension. This time Sun Jun was no longer startled. Instead, he was pleased to feel the sense of being drawn back into this dimension, even if he would be busy once he emerged from the big hole. Sun Jun rose from his bed in the lobby of the 5th floor. Sun Jun realized as soon as he awoke that he could freely use items in the tower or the real world, so for the time being he would store the chests and stones he brought into his inventory. Within this 5th floor store was a magic power potion that allowed Sun Jun to see the details of any item as well as knowing the honesty of someone's words. Sun Jun enjoyed reading the item's information, so he would buy it. After Jun immediately tried his 2 items to practice. After he felt he had practiced enough, Sun Jun asked the system to open the gate to the 5th floor trial. On this 5th floor, the difficulty level is hard. The mission to clear is to defeat the boss of the wolves. The reward for this trial is unknown, while the penalty for failure is as usual now: death. Wasting no time, Sun Jun defeats the wolves easily. Jun, annoyed, muttered a little because his opponent this time was so weak until 5 enormous white-bodied wolves emerged in front of Sun Jun. The wolf growled and sent off a terrible-looking killing aura instead of being afraid of being encircled by that pack of large wolves. Sun Jun smiled gleefully, thinking here is the challenge from the Tower of Trials that he has been waiting for. A bunch of fierce wolves quickly charged towards RMC, who ran towards them. With full of adrenaline and chest pumped out, Sun Jun felt himself getting excited as he slashed his opponent with the sword. Sun Jun continued to slash at dozens of ferocious wolves without hesitation until he finally reached 100 in his hunter dagger skill. As a result of this, the rank of the fast recovery skill rose to rank D. Sun Jun was pleased that his talent had improved. Now he desired to learn a new sword technique. At that moment, another wolf charged at Sun Jun, who instantly blocked with his sword. After a few moments of slicing here and there were no wolves left surrounding Sun Jun, so this young guy absorbed the souls of the enormous wolves to improve his skills. Sun Jun thought that by doing so, he would soon obtain another special trial. Sun Jun then headed toward the boss wolf's lair, but strangely, along the passageway, he observed the bodies of giant wolves dispersing. Sun Jun approached one of the carcasses and saw a sword wound. There were also new scratches around the wolf carcass, to investigate the aftermath of these attacks. Sun Jun used the skilled Eye of Truth. With this skill, he knew that the scratch marks were caused by a very strong attack. As Sun Jun paused and pondered what could make this mark, suddenly there was the sound of an extremely loud wolf howl. Sensing the wolf close by, Sun Jun slid off looking for the source of the sound. The moment he got close, Sun Jun could feel the presence of another stronger wolf, but strangely the wolf boss had been indicated by the Saiyajin to have died. The system is still trying to figure things out while RMC waits. He was taken aback when he saw the big dead carcass of a werewolf in front of him. Just as the analysis was completed, a large male figure clad in massive iron armor emerged. It was an intruder recognized by the system. Sun Jun's main mission has changed from killing the boss wolf to eliminate this interdimensional intruder. Sun Jun was taken aback when he saw the message on the system that this Tower of the Trial also exists in other dimensions. As Sun Jun was taking in what had transpired, the Iron Warrior figure aimed at Sun Jun with his sword instead, implying that he boldly wished to duel with Sun Jun, as usual, rather than being terrified. Sun Jun had not expected to be in a scenario where other challengers were attempting to take his goal right now, but Sun Jun was relieved since the notification message in the system did not state that he had failed the task. Sun Jun was clearly dumbfounded when the mysterious man reversed his words and said, "Back got you." Sun Jun tried to fend off the opponent's attack with a shield that he had purchased at a great price, but eventually the shield was not strong enough to withstand the opponent's attack and split. Sun Jun was flung so far that he smacked the cave wall. RMC left arm was shattered, and the damage appears to be pretty serious. When the opponent was speaking about class invading, the curious Sun Jun intervened and inquired what class invading meant. Sun Jun looked completely down because this had happened to him, and seeing Sun Jun in such agony, the mysterious man finally decided to explain to Sun Jun what an invading class was. So starting on the 8th floor, there is a system expansion called Class Invading, and participants can buy tickets to interrupt other people's trials, which is why this mysterious charge had happened. Sun Jun asked why the mysterious man had called this dimension a barbarian dimension, as if he came from another world, and the man in the armor replied that it was. Sun Jun tried using the skill Eye of Truth to see if the man was lying. Apparently the mysterious figure in the armor wasn't lying. Annoyed at being judged by a barbarian, the mysterious man intended to attack Sun Jun, but since Sun Jun had already gotten a pain and heal technique, Jun was able to endure the pain in his hand, i.e. the pain tolerance skill he possessed. In other words, Sun Jun was enduring it on purpose because if he released his injured arm, the fast recovery skill would automatically activate and heal his wound, so Sun Jun purposely pretended a pitiful look for his opponent to reveal all the information Sun Jun desired. Sun Jun kicked the ground with his other hand till it trembled and his sword shot up. Sun Jun caught his sword and said confidently that his complete strength will continue to rise. Sun Jun immediately used high-speed skills to move at lightning speed to attack the enemy, who was staring in awe at his many skills. Even though this mysterious man still tried to fend off Sun Jun's barrage of attacks, they continued to scuffle in all corners of Goa until finally the mysterious man couldn't stand it any longer and pointed his sword filled with powerful aura against Jun. Luckily Sun Jun managed to dodge in time. The sword stuck into a large rock and split it with one slash. Sun Jun realized that it would be very dangerous if he was hit by such a high-ranking aura, but knowing that his stats were higher, Sun Jun was confident he could dodge. The problem now was that impenetrable armor. Sun Jun was having difficulty breaking the armor with his present powers, but he refused to give up, and proceeded to strike the unknown guy in armor from behind from all directions till the strange man was zapped by a very powerful electric current and violently shook. The mysterious guy even vomited blood from under his armor. Obviously it was a special effect from Sun Jun's sword that would immobilize his opponent with a strong enough attack. Sun Jun smiled joyfully because the skill he had been waiting for had finally appeared. After taking a severe hit from Sun Jun's sword skill, the strange man in his armor fell to the ground, powerless, with blood oozing from his armor mask. Sun Jun looked down his nose at his adversary, who was still complaining. According to the man behind the mask, he should have won. Under normal circumstances, he asked Sun Jun how an opponent from the 5th floor could have so many skills. Sun Jun responded that it was the thoughtless individual who solely believed in high-level armor and skills without considering strategy. Sun Jun then raised his blade to end the fight, but the unknown one was attempting to buy time by making an offer to Sun Jun an ample supply of information RMC desired, but it was refused. So the young man raised his sword without hesitation, slashed the opponent's neck off. Blood gushed everywhere as RMC thought he was growing numb to killing opponents, but if he hesitated and felt uneasy every time he was about to kill his enemy, then it would become a huge problem for him. Finally, Sun Jun received notification that he had successfully completed the challenge on the 5th floor. In that instant, the mysterious man's large body disappeared. Sanjin absorbs the enemy's soul until it finally disappeared. After absorbing his opponent, RMC proficiency has grown by 15%. Sun Jun was relieved that he had absorbed his opponent's soul in time, but this young man was surprised because the prize notification didn't appear for a while until finally a system notification said that the previously prepared prize did not match the trial challenge that Sun Jun had just won, so all rewards would be changed. Sun Jun was taken aback when he received his rank prize, as well as a big number of completion points and bonus points. Sun Jun realized that the rank prize had been increased because of the change in trial difficulty. This demonstrated how powerful the challenger was. Sun Jun was overjoyed to have received a rank reward. Sun Jun then re-entered the 6th floor lobby as usual, and all injuries and abnormalities vanished as Sun Jun's name appeared on the hunter rank order list. Sun Jun removed his clothes and checked his inventory as soon as he entered the lobby. Sun Jun stored the clothes and weapons and sat at the lobby's edge, believing there had to be more information about dimensional invasions. RMC could not relax his guard and wanted to save his question voucher until the 8th floor, when the system popped up and asked Sun Jun to ask a question because an administrator was present to answer. Sun Jun asked about the floor invasion and whether he could be notified in person if there was an invasion. Sun Jun sent a message and received a response quickly. Sun Jun was surprised that the response came so quickly. Then he read that floor invasion was a system where challengers could invade other challengers' trials within the first 10 classes, and that the system can only be used after reaching the 8th floor, so it can't be used now. Sun Jun wanted to learn more about the climbing breaker but was refused access, so he closed the hologram screen in dismay. Sun Jun went on to extract things from inventory. Apparently, he took the chest objects and stones he purchased from Earth, and this young man utilized the chest to mend his damaged shield. Sun Jun was pleased with the crate's performance, so he used the cleaning stone, which managed to make his body glisten, indicating that the stone is indeed capable of cleaning the user's body. With this, RMC was very satisfied with the stone, despite the fact that it was quite expensive, because the time for the 6th floor trial was still quite long. Sun Jun decided to check the trial champion ranks and the community discussion. While checking the trial champion rankings, Sun Jun was taken aback by how quickly his name had jumped from 16th to 3rd place. Sun Jun thought he was getting closer to reaping the benefits of the continuous pioneer in the near future. Sun Jun went to the community page to see what was new from the other hunters' talks. Sun Jun was startled that they were talking about the assassination achievement. It seemed as if they didn't want to kill or rob anyone. Adversaries or comrades. Sun Jun noticed that the community chat was now in complete chaos. It was as if everyone was looking at each other with hatred. Suddenly someone appeared who informed him that the person who provided information about the fourth floor trial change is Naya Princess Sudi. He was the one who made the other hunters alert and stabbed each other. Sun Jun was annoyed to hear of such a trickster. He would remember that name. It didn't take long for a notice window to appear indicating the time of the next trial. After passing through the portal, Sun Jun saw a wide expanse of sea above it were many wide floors for the entry of the participants. Sun Jun stood towering calmly as he gazed at the expansive sea. Then a notification appears that his partner will appear in a moment. It was strange that after the portal was open, Sun Jun's teammates did not enter the 6th floor either, but suddenly a spear is thrown in his direction. Despite a shock, he luckily managed to catch the spear in time. RMC pulled the spear so hard that a young man appeared at the tip of the spear. The young guy fell to the floor and Sun Jun immediately scolded him for attacking his own teammate, namely Sun Jun. However, the youth instead smiled disdainfully at Sun Jun and said out loud that killing is the easiest way to achieve achievements. Sun Jun was taken aback by the young man's statements. Irritated, he asked in a high tone if it was good to kill his friends for the sake of power. Instead, the teenager accused Sun Jun of hypocrisy. After hearing his words, he shouted "Ash," asking Sun Jun to look around him before commenting. Apparently right now around them people were killing each other with their own teammates. Screams filled with pain, wailing and killing intent reverberated around Sun Jun, making this young man only remain silent when his colleagues and rivals accuse him of hypocrisy. Continuing with the two people who were shaking hands on the left side of Sun Jun's trail. And the fat man decided to work together without the influence of the other participants attacking each other. The fat man all of a sudden, due to lack of awareness, was stabbed square in the heart by his so-called partner. He was misled and stabbed with a sharp weapon through his chest. The slim man's kind face quickly turned evil and aggressive. Sun Jun was shocked as he watched the incident. Sensing that Sun Jun was distracted and let his guard down, the young man, his so-called teammate, pulled out his small dagger to attack RMC, but he met no mercy from Sun Jun as he was directly stabbed by his own spear. The foolish guy was shocked that Sun Jun could move faster than him, but it was too late. He had already died at the hands of Sun Jun. As soon as his opponent died, Sun Jun gained his achievement and his strength increased. Sun Jun looked around again. He realizes that the difficulty in this trial is a combination, but he didn't expect to see a challenge like this in the Tower of Trial. Will RMC survive this chaotic trial? Tune in next time to see how this plays out, and remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss the latest chapter upload.